and just have it at the top of your mat. We'll use that there. And go ahead and lie down on your back. We'll actually get started there. Take a moment just to let your legs go nice and long, arms down along your sides. Your palms can flip up, and take a deep breath in. Long breath out. Feel the back of your head nice and heavy. Feel your collarbones just start to like expand a little bit more as you breathe in. And a long breath out. And start to bend your knees. And like you were setting up for bridge here, just pressing your feet down towards the ground. I don't want you to lift your hips quite yet, but stay here for a moment, a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Now separate your feet just a little bit wider. Maybe even take your arms out like a T, palms slipping up. We've done this a few different ways, but take a deep breath in. And just nice and easy, let both knees drop over to the right. And if it feels okay, stay here. And start to bring your knees back through center. And let them fall over to the left. And bring your knees back through center. And start to cross your right ankle right above your left knee, or right below your left knee rather, like onto your thigh, to create this figure 4 sort of shape. And maybe even send your right knee a little further away. And then let that structure tip over to the left. So think about the sole of your right foot dropping over to the left. And then you can stay here if that feels like an okay stretch in the outer right hip, or bring your left hand to your right ankle. And if those find each other, just like set that up. And then reach your right arm back out over to the right. And then maybe start to just like, as you hold on to that ankle, send your knee away from you. It just like starts to access that outer hip area. And if it feels too much right away, back off, but breathe here. Take a full breath in. Long exhale. And then take your arms back out like a T and start to come back to center, unravel the legs. And then you'll switch, drop the right foot down and cross your left ankle. Create that figure 4. Stay here or drop it over to the right. So a little bit of a twist. Maybe that's where you stay. Or right hand grabs your left ankle. And then your left knee can draw towards the front of your mat. You might even look over to your left hand. And slowly come back to center, unravel. Plant both feet down nice and firmly, arms down along your sides, and just one bridge. Start to lift your hips up. Back of your head stays on the ground. Your legs are active. So it's not about how high your hips go again, but how engaged. Maybe you can start to squeeze the glutes. Think about your hamstrings turning on. One more big breath in. And then slowly release back down to your mat. Now, start to just come up to a seat in any way that feels good, whether you roll onto your side or you rock front to back. You'll just come up to a seat. Nice and easy. Now, start to take the soles of your feet down, maybe a little bit wider than your hips here. Take your hands to your knees or your shins and lift your chest up here. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Maybe even open up your mouth to clear out space. And then another way of moving here, start to take your hands behind you, just tent them, and let both knees fall over to the right. Now you're gonna lift your left hip up. So shift the weight over to your right hip. And for a moment, just create this sort of triangle. Your right foot comes to like your left knee, that area. Now sit up nice and tall if you can. Take your right hand behind you towards the back of your mat. And your left hand, bring it to your right knee for a twist this way. Maybe even look over your right shoulder. And then start to look over your left shoulder, pick your knees up. Maybe without hands, you drop both knees over to the left and just create that structure on the other side. Left hand behind you, right hand to your left knee. Sit up tall on the inhale. And then look over your left shoulder as you exhale. And deepen that twist. And look over your right shoulder, pick the knees up. Maybe don't even use your hands. Cross the shins, hands come down, and bring yourself to tabletop pose. Take a round of cat-cow here as you spread the fingers wide, lift the chest, breathe in. Press into your hands, round your back, and drop your head. Breathe out. And then come back to neutral. Send your right leg behind you. Let it float. And then start to turn. Well, just start to take your leg out. No turning for a moment. Just keep your toes down for a moment. And start to send your leg. Think about 5 o'clock. So behind you, right? Like if your mat was a clock, 12 is the top, 6 is the bottom. And out to 5 o'clock. So you start to feel that outer hip turn on, maybe a little bit more. Take a breath in. Now look over to the right, say 3 o'clock, and plant your foot there. So keep the leg long, plant that foot, reach your left hand up, breathe in. And then thread the needle like you're sending your left hand towards your right foot. Of course, they won't touch, or maybe they do, but bring your left ear or temple down to the ground. Now, as you press down actively through that right foot, maybe you start to lift your chest towards your right elbow, like you just twist a little bit more. So now you get this like nice stretch, maybe in the upper back. Take one more breath in. And then slowly start to come back up. Both hands drop down. Now I want you to keep your leg at 3 o'clock and then start to pick it up. Pick that foot up, let it float. Swing it back around behind you. And then bring it to 7 o'clock. So back left corner. Tuck your toes under. Press back through your heel. Get that stretch in the calf. And then start to snug your right knee behind your left. Like you're crossing your legs. Take your feet nice and wide apart. And then draw your hips back. So just another way to find a little bit deeper of a stretch in the hips, a little bit different. Like you were coming into child's pose, walk your fingers forward. Pull your hips back. Maybe drop the head. Stay here. Take a full breath in. Long breath out. Now shift the weight back onto your left knee. Send your right leg behind you, that 3-legged table. And take your right foot outside of your right hand. Now, if you want, you can bring your hands to a block on any height, right? Just like bringing the earth up a little bit higher to you, wherever you feel supported. So finding lizard pose, you'll rock your chest or rock your hips forward and lift your chest a little bit higher. And then on your exhale, pull your hips back, maybe even pick your right toes up to find that half split. So you get a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg. Now again, rock forward on the inhale, finding lizard. Pull your hips back as you empty. Now rock back forward. This time you can move the block if you want to. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee, take an inhale. Step your left foot up to meet the right. You fold at the top of your mat. So first forward fold, bend your knees a lot. Take your feet wide. Maybe drop the head or shake it yes and no. And find a halfway lift, hands to your shins, heart forward. Walk your hands up your thighs, stand all the way up for a moment. Arms done along your sides, palms forward. Breathe in to shrug the shoulders. Open your mouth, let them fall. Now bring your feet right underneath your hips, so about a blocks with distance apart. And start to bend your knees, sit back into chair pose. And bring your hands to your heart center. And we're gonna use this hip a little bit more, and it's gonna mimic what we did on our back, but we're going to be standing on one leg. So shift the weight into the left foot. Start to bring that right knee up towards your chest and create a figure four. Cross your right ankle. If you need to use your hands to like make that structure happen, go for it. Now, as you create that figure four, I want you to sit back like you were sitting in a chair. So sending your seat back, but still lifting your heart up. And then flex through the right foot. So the more active that foot is, more sensation in that right hip. So it's like a standing half pigeon. Stay for the breath in. Big breath out. Now start to stand back up. Hug your right knee to your chest. And I want you to bring it out to the right. And you're gonna land in warrior two. So step that right foot back. Arms go long. Reverse your warrior, left hand will rise. And then left forearm to your left thigh, side angle. Do that one more time. Inhale, reverse it. Exhale, side angle. Now reverse it, but straighten your left leg. Pick your left toes up. Let them parallel the right. And then wide leg forward fold. Drop your head. Shake it yes. Shake it no. Halfway lift. Breathe in. Come back to frame your front foot. So your left foot, low lunge. Drop your right knee down. Reach both arms up. Take a big breath in. Hook the thumbs overhead. Elbows wide. Lift the chest. And then bring left knee to meet the right. Keep the thumbs hooked. Just lift the chest a little higher just to open it up after all that work. And then bring the hands down, back to tabletop pose. Lifting your heart on an inhale, find cow. Round your back, exhale, cat. Back to neutral. And then to the other side. Left leg goes behind you. So call it 6 o'clock. And then see if you can, with engagement, send that heel, keep the foot flexed, but send the heel to 7 o'clock. Maybe 8 o'clock. And then you hold it here. Take a full breath in. Big breath out. Now look over to 9 o'clock, over to the left. Plant that foot there. And then this time the right arm will reach out to the side or up. And then thread it through, reach over towards the left toes. Your right temple or ear can come to your mat. So this is like one of those like yoga pretzel poses, right? You're just like, how did I get here? But how can you press down through the outer edge of your left foot for balance? So then you can maybe lift your chest a little bit towards the ceiling. Maybe even consider leaning away from your foot, if it's firmly planted, of course. Sometimes doing a somersault out of this shape is like an interesting dismount. It happens. But see if you can press your foot down a little more to keep that from happening. So take one more breath in and out. Press down into that left hand to just bring the right hand back to where you started. Both hands plant. Now, see if you can pick that left foot up, let it hover, pause, and then swing it back behind you. Bring the toes, tuck them under, over at 5 o'clock, back right corner, and press back through your heel. Now, snug that left knee behind the right, feet go nice and wide apart. Pull your hips back into that cross knee. Child's pose. Big breath in. Long breath out. Shift the weight back into that right foot. Take the left leg behind you first. And then bring that foot outside the left hand into that lizard pose. You can heel toe your foot in or take it wider, whatever feels better for you. Maybe hands on block. Now rock the hips forward, lift the chest. And then use the exhale to pull the hips back and pick the toes up into that half split. Do that again. Rock forward on the inhale. Pull back on the exhale. Now rock forward on the inhale. You can move the block. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee up. Step right foot to meet the left. At the top of your mat, you fold. Halfway lift. Walk the hands up your thighs. Stand all the way up. Arms then along your sides. Last time here, shrug the shoulders, breathe in. Open your mouth. Find ease. Set up your base about hips width distance apart. Sweep the arms up on the inhale. And then sit back into chair pose and maybe bring your hands to your heart center. Now you get to shift the weight into the right foot and create that figure four. Cross left ankle above the right knee. Now take that left knee a little wider, right? Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. And then hands can come to your heart to balance. Maybe hold on to your leg, whatever is easiest. Just stay here and breathe for 3, 2. If you have a wall nearby, that's also helpful. Last one. And you get to stand up, hug the left knee in for a moment. Bring it out to the left. Swing it back around, warrior 2 with your right foot forward. Reverse your warrior, right hand rises. Side angle, forearm to your thigh. Do that again, inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse, straighten your right leg, pick the right toes up, parallel the left, wide leg forward fold. Drop your head. Shake your head, yes. Maybe even shake it no, open and close your mouth a few times, softening the jaw. Halfway lift, breathe in. Frame your right foot, low lunge. Drop your left knee down. Sweep the arms up, hook the thumbs, elbows wide, lift the chest. And then bring right knee to meet the left. One breath in to really lift the heart up, maybe even the chin lift. And then bring the hands to tabletop pose. Take a round of cat-cow, lift the chest on the inhale. Round your back on the exhale. And then come to a seat. Swing your legs around in front of you. Sit up nice and tall, one shin in front of the other. Stay here as you breathe in. Again, maybe open your mouth. Clear it out. And then take your legs like you did before. Bend through the knees, your feet plant a little bit wider than your hips. Hands can come onto your knees, lift through the heart. And then make sure you have enough space behind you. You'll slowly, either one vertebra at a time, roll, or if you need to, set up any cushion underneath you and you get to lie down on the ground. Keep the legs as they are, bent. If that feels good, feet wide, arms back out like a T. Take a breath in. Let both knees fall over to the right. And then back up through center. Both knees over to the left. Back up through center. And then let your legs go long. Arms back down along your sides. Chest broadens even as you find just a little bit of rest here as you inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and empty. Maybe let the eyes close as you let the toes soften. Feel the hips start to soften. Feel the shoulders, the chest, the neck. And soften and release. Even the jaw. And the features of your face, let them soften. And just allow your next breath to be a little bit bigger. As you inhale, fill up. Slow exhale to empty. And start to bring just a little bit more movement to your fingers, to your toes. You can rock your head side to side. And start to bend your knees. And roll to your side and just pause there. And press yourself up to find a seat. So sit up nice and tall once you're there. Hands can rest where they want to rest. And again, a long breath in. Maybe even open up your mouth, finding a little more ease. Maybe even do that one more time. Breathe in to fill up. Ease on your exhale. And bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Maybe bowing your chin towards that space and just taking a moment to honor yourself for again showing up. And taking a moment just to honor your accomplishments. Maybe like the markers on a timeline, right? Like a year of many, many things. And know that you have taken the time for yourself to like create space, to create space in your day, to create space in your life. So you can create space in your body and your mind, maybe to be intentional what you fill that space back up with. You even bring your thumb tips to the center of your forehead. Letting this practice, whatever it looks like on any given day, just letting it be a time where you can cultivate just a little bit more kindness towards yourself, so you can then hold space and share that kindness with those around you, with those that need you. Namaste. I hope that was helpful and gave like I tried to sprinkle in some different ways to like find that area